Caramba, vai começar já.
Blah, blah, blah.
Foi.
Well, hello guys, hello everybody. Well, try to be telling you guys about the English language in different ways. There are many things, in fact, to talk about when it comes to the English language, okay? Some people have asked me to get back to videos and sharing ideas, so that's why I'm here. And today, I'm going to talk to you about the greetings. In fact, not only greetings, but also about introductions and also the profile, as we kind of agreed before. If you guys saw my stories, you saw something there, and that's why I'm here. And the idea is to get back as soon as possible. Okay. So you see there on screen that we have the word greetings. And sometimes to explain to you the greetings, I'm going to use the Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English, which is something that I think it's very useful. And you guys can use at home because it's free. It's there, whatever and whenever you want to. It's there. And you can get the pronunciation of the words. You can check the meanings. You can get example sentences. There are too many things you can do. Before I go on, let me explain to you why I'm going to use only English. It's because when you get to the subtitles, remember you can change that into the Portuguese language. The more English you listen to, the more English you are exposed to, believe me, better to you. Okay? But getting back to the greetings, remember I have something down here, so I'm going to get that. I'll try to be as fast as I can. Some people sometimes complain. They say, Jerry, you talk too fast, man. Well, I don't think so. But anyways, I'll try not to. I got some things here kind of prepared. And this thing is related to the word, okay? So the word greetings, remember that it comes from the verb to greet. Yes, there you are. The word comes from the verb to greet, and it means, according to our dictionary, I got that some minutes ago, it means to react to something in a particular way. Okay. In fact, some people say to say hello to somebody. Okay, especially in British English, they say that. But greetings are not only to say hello, you can say goodbye, because there are two things that we need to understand. Sometimes you meet the person, but sometimes you say bye to that person. Another thing that is important is that we do not only use words. Okay, most of the time I'd say that we use words, but we can also use gestures. So gestures sometimes occupy the position of the words. You don't need to even open up your mouth. You don't need to say anything. You just make a gesture. You just wave. You just show parts of your body. Oh, of course, depends on the parts of your body. But and then you're saying something without saying any word. But some examples of greetings are these ones, and the most traditional ones. When you say hi, when you say hello, and then of course you'd say in a nice way. One thing that I like to tell people is that, guys, please remember, you say hi and you say hi. So come on, right? Remember this is important. Another thing, when you say hello, it's like say, hey, stupid, you didn't listen to me. So the words, depending on the context they may have different meanings, because maybe the pronunciation is a little bit different, or maybe the pronunciation is the same, but of course the meaning and of course the spelling is supposed to be different. It's the case of hi and hi, as I showed some seconds before. Another thing that is important, and the people say a lot, you say good morning and good night. And as I said, when you say good morning, it's because you meet the person early morning, first day, first time. Then Another thing, you can say goodnight because you're saying, because you're leaving. You're not going to see that person again, or supposedly not to see that person again. And then you say, guy, I'm leaving, goodbye, see you tomorrow, etc. So saying, see you tomorrow, see you next week, see you next month, see you next year. All these things are greetings, okay? Even if you're saying bye-bye, okay? So some gestures that you can use are these. To show your thumb up, this is your thumb, so you can be up. Of course, it can be down, but usually you say, hey, fine, man, I'm fine. So you say, I'm fine. You just do like this, especially Brazilians, right? We, guys from Latin America, we use gestures a lot, okay? Not to mention the Italians. To wave your hand or your hands, right? You can say like this. People can do like this, right? People can do like this, like, hey, wait for me, for example. Okay, so there are too many ways of expressing yourself when it comes to greetings. But one thing that you need to remember: if you are good at making, at greeting, better say, people in Portuguese or any other language, right? Maybe you do not speak Portuguese at all, but if you are able to express yourself greeting someone in your mother tongue, in your own language, and you know a good vocabulary of the English language, I don't think you're gonna have any problem expressing yourself, greeting someone in the English language. And on the other hand, on my own experience, especially in the classroom environment, I realized that when we ask people to be out of the ordinary, of these common things that everybody uses and everybody knows, in other words, to ask people to be more creative, okay, people have some kind of difficulty expressing themselves. So my suggestion is try to find ways of greeting someone using different words, different gestures, and it goes on. Okay? Well, I hope I helped you with the greetings. I'll try not to be long, so let's go now to the introductions. Okay? So the introduction, let me check here what I have. Well, I'm going to use the dictionary again because we have like here the introduction. Okay, sometimes I say that is the sexiest part in a conversation, but anyway, it's not. So let's see. According to our dictionary here, it says that it's the act of bringing something into use for the first time. Maybe not. Here, when meeting somebody, this is, you see, we have the first meaning. This is not what we want because it's about a new system or a new product. It's not about the second because it brings something to a place. It's not what we're doing. When meeting somebody, so this is what we need. I'm gonna copy that and put it here. So as I did before, I put here, the word comes from the verb to introduce. There is one very, let's use the same way as I did before, like that is. I'm trying to use a kind of a pattern. Brazilians like to say to, how do we say that? To present. Yeah, to present is something that we say in Portuguese. In English we say to introduce, okay? So let me just do like this. So there you are. So the word introductions comes from the verb to introduce. That is, as I said, that means the act of formally telling two people each other's names when they first meet. Well, telling two people, I don't know. I would say that one person introduces himself or herself to the other person. Then, of course, you have only two people, one speaking, the other listening. Or, of course, sometimes you have the possibility of having a lot of people. You can have a party there. A party, not the same idea of, let's say, a celebration, okay? A party is a group. So maybe you have a group of people. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know. You have a lot of people there. Or at least some people. And then you say, oh, let me introduce these guys to you. Oh, this is Jerry, this is Victor, this is Vinicius, and this is another person there. So sometimes you don't have only 1, 2 people. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a lot. And one more thing, we never know exactly when you're supposed to make introductions. Okay? So as you never know exactly when you're going to make an introduction, you need to be kind of prepared. And once again, remember, this is something that we do very often. Maybe not every day, but every time you are supposed to, well, it's just repetition, man. Everybody, hypothetically speaking, everybody knows how to do that in their own language. So what you have to do is do that in the other person's language, or in this case, in the English language. Okay? So the only thing that I kind of disagree or not agree completely is when telling two people each other's names. Well, we may have more than these people. Another thing, when they first meet, man, these things that dictionaries bring, okay, they help. But sometimes it's not the first time they meet. There are people that forget you, or you can forget somebody else, and then you need to introduce yourself again. Man, you met the person years ago, and the person is supposed to remember you, remember your name, remember everything about you. I don't think so. So it's not exactly, but usually when they first meet. Okay, remember that, especially now because of all these health-related problems we have in the past years, people have forgotten things easily, and this is something scientific. So perhaps you introduced yourself to the person, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, and then the person looks at you, you are, well, and then you need to introduce yourself again. So do not take for granted that people are going to remember you and remember your name. Okay? Let's see what else. Okay, I think that is. I don't think we need to go too much explaining this because we get to the examples. I like to give people only 2 examples, okay? The easiest one, and remember, one thing is the greeting. So you say hi. Forget hi now. The idea is the introduction. What is the introduction? You are going to tell people your name. This is the introduction. Okay, you can go ahead. But then we get to the other part, which is the profile. And then you understand why. But Jerry, why greetings, introductions, and profile? Because when you say the introduction, normally we're saying that you're going to say your name or other people's names. That's it. So normally, the easiest way is to say I am, and then of course you put your name. I'm gonna use a very handsome name, right? Jerry, of course. Okay, so then you can say I am Jerry, and that's it. You introduce yourself, and then some people ask me, hey, can I say I'm Jerry? Well, if you are Jerry, no problem. But the thing is, guy, what's the problem, man? Of course you can say I am, using I am separately, or you can put them together. You can say I'm. In conversation, and that's what we're talking about, use I'm. The more you shorten the words, the more you use less sounds, but you say a lot, but saying less. You see, that's a little strange, but you say a lot saying less. Or you say a lot speaking less. Let's put it this way. So you don't need to say, I am Jerry, just like a robot. You can say, hey, I'm Jerry. And then it goes on. Okay, those things, oh, nice to meet you, Jerry, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all those things you can use. But when we say introductions, remember, you can say, I am Jerry. Another thing, of course, you have the plural. So we are, well, let me say something that is very interesting. Let's say we are Jerry and a sexy girl, Jane, here. If Jane is speaking, Jane can say, because it's polite to say, hey, we are Jerry. She's telling me, or telling my name first. We are Jerry and me, Jane, for example. On the other hand, we can also say, we are Jane and Jerry. Because now I introduce her first and me after her. So you say, hey, we are Jane and Jerry. It's not something that you have to do, but politely speaking, why not? So if you have a bunch of people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 guys, so you introduce everybody, oh, and me, Jerry, nice to meet you, etc. Okay? This is very nice, and this is not grammatical talk. This is cultural talk. Because sometimes people believe that knowing grammar, knowing lexicon, right? Knowing vocabulary. Lexicon means vocabulary. That's enough. Man, you need to know culture. You need to know how, in a situation, you are going to behave or say this or that. This is also important. Learning the language is not the really big deal. I don't think the language itself is too much. What you have to do is remember that we have a lot more, okay? And culturally speaking, this is a lot more. One thing, another thing that I think it's important, let me use like 2 dashes now, is when you say, hey, my name is, let's say, Jerry. Okay, so you can say, hi, my name is Jerry, okay? Or my name is what, right? Whatever. So my name is Jerry because there is only one person. Okay? You can say her name is, his name is. Remember that there are too many possibilities. I'm not going to focus on all of them. I'm just going to focus on the other one that you remember you say, our names, oh shit. Our names are, and then again, Jane is speaking, Jerry and Jane. Well, we got a break here, so let me try, whatever. Okay, so let me use like this. Our names are Jerry and Jane because Jane is speaking first. And then she introduces me first because politely speaking, this is great. On the other hand, let's say that I'm speaking. So then I say, our names are Jane. So I talk about her first and Jerry. And then I talk about me after her name. Okay, so these are some examples, simple examples of introduction. So remember, singular I am or I'm, plural we are, and then using Jane and using Jerry first, or Jerry and Jane first. I didn't mention, but as I mentioned here, I am, I'm, let me use this in the second example because you don't need to say we are, you can say we're. So we're Jane and Jerry, we're Jane and Jerry. And this is something, guys, that you need to do very often. Some people are not lazy, but they are not persistent. And you got to be persistent when you're doing this kind of thing. When you shorten words and then say we're. That's it. You need to exercise your jaw. You need to exercise your face. You need to exercise the whole system you have in your face. If you don't do that, you're not going to speak English as good as you want to, or as best, which I think it's even better than you want to. Okay? So remember, when you introduce yourself, in other words, then you just say your name or somebody's name. And remember that not only 2 people are involved. Sometimes you have a lot more people involved in all this conversation. Okay? Now, let me see what I did before. Don't get dizzy there because I'm doing this. Let's talk now about the profile. Okay? Well, the word profile, there is no verb for it as far as I remember. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. But a profile is when you get to the other information. Remember, you just greet the other person. You stated your name. And let's say that you want to give more information about yourself or somebody else. Take a look at this. This is interesting, right? Again, when you talk about a profile, and take a look at this, profile. Remember you have the sounds, right?
Profile.
This is a British English.
Profile.
And this is American English.
Profile. Profile.
Okay, so remember that you have this. What is important is that you have the pronunciation here. You have that it belongs to the nouns, right? It's a noun, and it's a countable noun. It means you can say 1 profile, 2, 3, a lot of profiles. So when you talk about a profile, you talk about the head of a person, one side of the person's head. The description, okay? This is what we want, okay? We have more, the shape. Guys, the problem, but it's not the problem, Okay, but people say like that. The problem, but the secret, I prefer to use the word secret. The secret of learning a language is that you need to know which meaning, what you want to say about that. Because you know that in Portuguese, you have the same word and it means this, 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 and this. You have 6 meanings for the same word. And when we learn English or any other language, for example, people complain, but there are too many translations, guys. There is a problem in translation from English to Portuguese, and there is a problem in meaning, because also in English we have too many possibilities of meanings. Okay? So let me put here that profile, it means, let me see if it's okay. Yeah, it's okay, so let me use this. So a profile, according to the Longman dictionary I'm using, is this. As I said, you bring information. It means a short description that gives important details about a person, a group of people. That's what I told you before, or a place, of course. One thing that I like to mention in class about profile is when you have those kind of gossip-related magazines. In Brazil, we have, I don't know exactly, but Contigo, right? With you, as I like to say in English, but Contigo, for example. I don't know if there is one magazine called Carícia, okay, but there are these kind of magazines, right? They bring there some information about one famous person. Remember some celebrities. So when you have information about those guys, about the person's complete name, the movie the person appears on, where the person was born, what else? When the person was born, of course, the birth date, etc. What the person likes or the person doesn't like, okay, especially food, especially music, okay. So this is the kind of profile we are talking about. So when you give this description about people, this is what we have in mind, okay. It's simple, as I said, so I'll give you just some examples. About me, for example, right? I'm not a very famous person, but just one example. So if you say, well, I'm Jerry. If I give my not complete name, but my name is like Jerry Mill. I like to say Jerry T, and people ask, what is T? For man, that's a secret. Anyway, so Jerry T. Mill. And if you say, Jerry, are you American? So no, man, I'm Brazilian. So when I say that I'm Brazilian, I'm giving information about me. If I say that I am an English teacher, for example, and I'm most of the time an English teacher, but I can be an English tutor, I can be an English expert, English consultant, whatever you want to, okay? And whatever. So I can say, for example, well, we can give the whole sentence, but I can say only likes. What I like. I like English, man. That is something that I love very much is English. And something that I dislike, for example, is vacation. Okay, and that's true, man. I hate vacation. Traveling, don't ask me, hey, Jerry, let's travel, man. No. And I dislike vacation. So these are some things that you can say. Remember that this is not something that you're going to write sentences. So Jerry likes English. Jerry dislikes vacation. No, it's just like likes this, dislikes that. That's simple. So do not complicate your life. So when you give example like this, your name, complete name, nickname, whatever, your nationality, like this Brazilian, your profession, for example, and something that you like or something that you do not like or you do not like very much, this is actually what we call a profile. Remember, this is something that indicates a description about you, some details about you or a group of people. You can talk about Jane. Oh, this is my friend Jane. She's Brazilian. She likes English, man, very much. Poof, that's it. The conversation goes on. So then we go to the next step. You greeted the person. You introduce yourself or somebody else to the other person or to the other people, and then you gave the person a little bit of your profile. And then what happens? Well, that's conversation. Then, of course, that's the problem when it comes after that, when people need to continue. And then what you're going to say? we never know what you're going to say. We never know in which situation you're in. Okay? So let's put here now that we go and let's use everything now in a kind of a conversation. Okay? Let's put here like a conversation sample, like an example, using the greetings, the introductions, and the profile. And remember, it can be at first a monologue or it can be a dialogue. I'm going to use just a monologue because you get there, you say everything, and then the conversation goes on. Okay, so remember, you can use it as a monologue or monologue, right? So it depends. Let me use here. This is a British dictionary, so probably it's going to bring something different. See, you have monologue and monologue. Okay, this is something important that you guys need to get. I'm not British, so you have monologue with UE, and then you have the other one with that. Okay, so this is something that you guys need to have in mind. So when you have this, you have like monologue with UE, like this. So this is British English. But as I say, I'm American, so I'm going to use like American English. The other possibility is the dialogue. And when you have the dialogue, you get something like that, okay? Let me try to get something like this because let me see what I can do. And then you guys can check, I guess, a little bit better. Is it better now? I think so, right? So you have there the monologue and the dialogue. So remember that a monologue, it means just one person speaking. And this is what we're going to do. And when you have a dialogue, and then you have more than one person. Hi, Jerry, so two people. No, man, it's not like two people. Forget this thing, you see. Let me use down here. I think it's better because I need to worry. Okay, so let's put like this. One person speaking. It's gonna happen the same shit, I guess. But anyways, sorry if I say French like shit. But anyway, so more than one person. Yeah, so it's gonna be the same way. Okay, I'm not gonna say speaking, but of course you understand, right? A monologue is one person speaking, and a dialogue is more than one person, of course, speaking. Okay. So let me give here just an example of a monologue. When you say, hi, so then you, let's say, greet somebody. And then you say, I am Jerry. I'm Jerry Mill, right? I'm Jerry. Let's use like this. As I said, it's better. Hi, I'm Jerry. I'm the new English teacher. Oh, big deal. Let's suppose that I get to school. So when I get there, I greet the director, the principal. Then I state my name. Then I say something about me. So I give a little bit of my profile. Okay? So in other words, I use it. The greetings, the introductions, and the profiles. And this is the main topic of our meeting today. So I say, hi, I'm Jerry. I'm the new English teacher. The other person is going to talk to me. And then the conversation goes on. Let's say the principal says, oh, hello, Jerry. I am Jane, whatever. I'm the director. Welcome to our school. And they say, oh, thank you very much. So tell me about the opening, the position. And okay, Jerry, sure, sit down, please. And then the conversation goes on. Guys, this is something that I tell people that is very important. That myself, me, Jerry, I do like this. I believe that you need to know that a language, we have the vocabulary that of course you need to learn. Then we have the grammar that you need to master as best as you can, but you don't need to be perfect, but you need to be as best as you can. And then we get to the creativity. So when you are going to create a monologue, when you're going to create a dialogue, when you're going to create a text, it doesn't matter. You need to be creative. And what is to be creative? Well, be creative in your own language, in Portuguese, in our case. Otherwise, you are not going to be any creative in English. And this is the most important part. So this conversation or this conversation sample summarizes what we talked about today. Remember that it can be a dialogue or a monologue or a monologue or just a dialogue for one person or more. And then we have the greetings, the introductions, and the profile. I would like to say thank you guys, and remember, I'll be back at any time. And in this case, when we get back together, I hope you have. I didn't say that because I think you should know that by now. Try to get a piece of paper, a notebook, right? A copybook if you prefer, pen, pencil, and try to make notes. This is very important. Man, you need to make notes. You need to register what you're doing. Some people still believe today that because they can create files in their cell phones, they can make prints, they can use technology in their favor. Man, this is for the machine. You need to put that into your brain. Your brain is more important than a machine. Sometimes you're not going to use, I know that some people use that. You're going to say something in a language and then you translate and you show it to the other person. Well, we use that when you are desperate. But as a normal, a regular, let's say, a human being, you don't need to do that. Okay? So when we get to the conversation, remember that all these things that you wrote before, all those things that you tried to learn, you need to review them, you need to take a look at them every day, at least for some days, some people for some weeks maybe. Practice them, add more examples to them. This is what you gotta do. And there are some obvious things that I don't think people need to be telling other people. Teachers don't need to be telling students what to do. If you really want to learn, you are going to create other conversation samples, either dialogues or monologues, but you're going to do with two people only the dialogue, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know. It depends on you. Okay? So this is what I want to say to you. I hope I helped you with the greetings, the introductions, and profiles. And I hope to see you guys as soon as possible once again. And I appreciate every time you guys come and talk to me. Okay? So this is for today. What is my producer? Hello, man. Come back. Okay, guys. So again, thank you very much. And that's it for today. Producer.
Yeah.
Finished. Man, I don't believe this guy.